Hey YouTube,
What's
welcome
up?
back to our channel.
Welcome back.
So late and delayed. Alright you guys, I know we keep changing everything up. I don't know what it's gonna look like every time we do a video. I'm not gonna lie to you. We finding something different that we like every time we do one, so bear with us. This might be our normal setup from now on. I'm not sure, but whatever.
It might be because I like it. It's comfortable.
It is. So we wanted to come and do another video for you guys. We were supposed to be doing a mukbang, but I'm not hungry. So
That's basically, we're not hungry right now.
we're not really hungry. So we didn't want to do a half-ass video for y'all and start it and not even finish not even close to half of our food, because I'm already kind of sort of full and I've been like snacking a lot. So, and I'm gonna be doing that again on this video. But tell me what we're gonna talk about, babe.
She says she can't promise me she ain't gonna eat something in every video.
I can't.
It is what it is. But today the topic is, it's still based off like relationship type stuff. We're gonna talk about well, if y'all didn't know, I guess you can go on and say that little spiel real quick, just like really briefly. Okay. For y'all that don't know, my girl Ariel has lupus. So today we're gonna talk about how that sometimes may possibly affect a relationship, or it could be if you're like with anybody and they got anything physically or mentally that's going on with them.
Health-wise, like a lot of... Well, correction, I have lupus and I just recently found out I have rheumatoid arthritis, which joined together, not a good mix at all. It's very, very painful sometimes, and if you have arthritis, you know it's no joke. If you have lupus, it's really not a joke.
It is not, but I've been learning some stuff. So I think what we're gonna talk about is like how it could affect relationships, or what can you do to get through it or help your partner with it, or still we just gonna jump into it. That's all, basically.
Yeah, so excuse me, we're gonna take it all the way back into when I found out about lupus. Well,
2015.
No, I didn't even know I had it. I had
You didn't know in 2015?
No.
You found out when
they just told me it was lupus in 2018.
Oh.
You remember that?
I'm lost. I didn't even know that.
Okay, so she's talking about when we met. When we met, excuse me, like we said in the one of the other videos, we met at our job at where we were working at the time, and around that time, like I said, it was a warehouse job, so we were always doing like stuff with our hands or whatever. We were working on car parts or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, I
guess you didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
Had it then.
I didn't know, and I didn't know where to look to actually see what it was, because someone brought it to my attention one day. I don't remember who it was, but they said because of what I was going through with my body and stuff, to look up this particular thing, which at the time was lupus, and I had never heard of it before, so I really didn't know what that was. And
golly,
what?
Just looking at how lanky and long I am. My bad.
Oh my God.
It shows. Go ahead.
So I was working at this job, and at the time I was living with my sisters. This was before me and her met. I met her. Well, I wasn't living with my sisters at the time. Yes, I was.
We were moving in together.
So we were working together. I worked at this job with my sister, and I had my own car, so I would be, take myself back and forth to work or whatever. Or sometimes I carpool with my sister, whatever the case may be. But there were times in that particular period of time where I went to work, or I was at work or whatever, and I just started being like in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. I was constantly, I would always say I was sick, but I was constantly sick and in pain, and I never knew what it was from. Like it literally, sometimes it came from out of nowhere. I wake up in the morning and it's just like I couldn't get out of the bed. Some days I would get to work and I had absolutely no idea how I got to work. I had absolutely no idea how I got home. It's like I was so tired. I was extremely tired. I was in a lot of a lot of pain, and I don't know. It was just really weird for me. So we're gonna jump to when I met her. So,
mind y'all, when we first met, I don't know any of this. She never told me about, oh, she used to have pains or stuff like that. I just know that when we pretty much officially got together, we was at the hospital at least almost once a week. If not once a week, once every 2 weeks. And I'm like, what the fuck?
But this was so, it's so crazy, but believe it or not, this had just started happening. It wasn't something
I didn't know that.
Like when I started this job, I think it had
probably
that job probably brought it out more. But I wasn't going through stuff like that before all of that. Like me getting to work and not knowing how, or being really, really tired and sick when I got home. Like it was some days like I literally would be on my way home and I'm driving and I'm like trying so hard to stay up because I'm exhausted. I didn't even work a full, like it was like I wasn't exhausted. It was physically, I don't know. It's just like it was really, really, really hard to stay up. I don't know if I've ever felt like that, but it happened more so whenever I was pretty much getting off of work, and I guess it was like, okay, my body just could not take it. Like it was so much, and once we actually started talking,
the only thing I thought was, God damn, this girl go to the hospital a lot. Like I feel like she was too young. But I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, at first I was the type of person like, hold on, you ain't tell me all this. I ain't signed up for this. This is the immature me, guys. The immature me is like, what's going on? Every week I'm at the hospital with you, like, what's up? Because every time we went, they would be like, basically,
nothing's wrong.
Nothing was wrong.
They would never tell me what was wrong. And I guess it was like, now if you have like a autoimmune disease, or if you have something that's going on with you that you can explain but they can't see, they're going to make you feel like you're crazy. Like I constantly went to and it was something like I had to go because my body literally was not being able to take it. If I'm getting, like, I passed out at work I think twice. I remember one day I was sitting at one of the machines and I just like, my body just could not do anymore. I couldn't do anything else anymore. And I just like, I think I passed out. They ended up taking me to the hospital in an ambulance that day. But it's like, people wasn't understanding when I was saying I was in pain. Because if you know someone with lupus, you don't necessarily look like you have something wrong. It's an internal problem. So unless you have the butterfly rash, or you have like I'm still getting over now, a certain like issue with my skin, unless you have stuff like that they can actually see, you look like nothing's wrong with you.
You do, because I ain't gonna lie, I used to be looking at it like, this is me being ignorant though, y'all, not knowing anything about stuff like that. I mean, I knew about it because I've known somebody that has actually passed away from lupus. I wasn't close with them, but you know, I knew of them. Me still being basically ignorant to the situation, I'm looking at her, I'm looking like, maybe she just tired from work, or I'm like, damn, why you hurting all the time? Well, what is it? What's going on? I'm thinking she just not exercising enough, not eating right, not drinking, because she used to do a lot of bullshit. Like, shit she wasn't supposed to intake. She was doing that like every single day, and I just was like, in my head, you probably just need to switch up your routine on what you're doing. But it wasn't, what she was doing didn't really have nothing to do with what was going on. It wasn't going to change the situation. It wasn't really going to stop it. So it's like I understood, but I didn't. So,
and it's like by that time, I think it was like the onset of it. It was a huge flare. You call them flares when you're going through those periods where your body just kind of like doing the most. It was the worst. Some of the worst. I haven't passed. Well, I did. I passed out at the other job. I don't know. It depends. Like it also depends on your treatment that you're getting too. Because I didn't get that was in 2015. I didn't start getting treatment for that until 2018. So that's a 3-year gap where I'm just kind of like, I'm going through. I was going through it. I was extremely sick.
She
all the
used to
time.
be tired from doing nothing.
I did. Like
so
I'd
be looking
and be exhausted.
Yeah, I'd be looking like we could go to the store or something, and she'll be like, "I'm sleepy. I'm tired." I'm like, "From fucking what?" We didn't do nothing but go up the street. It's like, and my thing is, you slept in this morning. It's like, why are you so goddamn tired? Like, why drained from sitting on the couch? I didn't get it. It really
was like that. Like we could do a normal day, and midday, I'm like, I have to go to sleep. Like, I could not stay up. It was. I couldn't do it. If we were driving, I go to sleep in the car. Not if I'm driving, of course not. If she's driving and I'm in the car, I would fall asleep.
And I like people to be up with me. Like I'm a morning person. I'm like, yo, get the fuck up to this. Like, I don't want to be lazy. It's not a lazy day. Like, what's wrong with you? But I have to take into consideration that she just got stuff that she has to move a little slower than me, basically.
In her defense, when we first started talking, I could definitely understand why she felt and said, it seemed the way that it did to her for me, because like I said, I personally myself didn't even know what was wrong. So if I'm just looking at somebody who's like in my position, I'm sitting there like, what the hell? I would be thinking, what the hell you got going on with you? You know what I'm saying?
I would.
But I had no answers, and it was making it even worse that every single time I went to the doctor, they told me nothing was really wrong with me. Or that's
why I thought she was crazy. I'm like, bruh, they not saying nothing wrong with you, so what the fuck you got going on? Like, I'm here. Did you want me? Like, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. Like, you ain't got to do all this bullshit.
No, like, they would give me pity pat, like, medications and stuff like that. Like, it was so much different stuff that they were trying to give me. Bullshit. No, it was just like, oh, well, it's, they would tell me, like, little, I can't even remember that far back, but anything, how you go in and you tell them what's wrong, they kind of make up a diagnosis, but it's not really what it is because they haven't dug deep. I didn't get that kind of treatment until I got to a specialist, and they did blood work, like, to actually check for these things. And I actually asked them, well, could it possibly be this? Because I had done research on lupus by that time. So when I did the research, I already knew. I was telling my family at the time, because
I didn't think it was when she said she was doing the research. I was like, well, don't wish that on yourself, but don't speak it into existence. I was like, why would you say you got lupus? And I just used to be blowing up like, man, girl, shut the fuck up. You ain't got that shit. And then I ain't gonna lie, come to find out. It
wasn't that I wanted to wish anything on myself. No one wants to put that on themselves. But for me, I needed an answer because I needed something to fix it.
I think I thought that, though, because they say running to the internet, finding out information is the worst thing you can do.
And my grandma said the same thing. She used to always say that, like, don't wish that on yourself. Don't say this and don't say that. And I'm like, I don't want to. But my body is telling me something completely different. Like, I have to figure out what's going on so I can get help for it. Otherwise, like, I know, and this is probably going to be another story another time, but I'll just briefly say something. But when I was getting ready to finish college, I barely fucking made it. Like, my last semester was the hardest semester, like, ever. I was crawling into class, y'all.
She pushed through it, though.
It was so difficult, and that was the time when I lost the most weight that I've ever lost. Like, I was back down to like high school weight.
That's another thing. When we first got together, now Shorty was like,
oh my God.
She was like, that's one reason why I, gravitated towards her. She was extremely curvy. She's thick. So it's like, over time, when we was together, I want to say like a year or so passed by, motherfucker got small and shit. And
I was dropping a lot of weight.
And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, she looked sick. Like, I was like, you losing weight and you losing weight fast, but she didn't look healthy at all. I'm like, this ain't you. Your head too big for your goddamn body. Like, you laughing, but I'm dead ass serious.
Your head was too big for your body. I look funny.
She didn't look right.
I don't think I'm meant to be a small person. Honestly, not to say nobody can, but
then she's short, so it really didn't look right for real. I was like, like it was okay for me, like physically, but it was just that wasn't you. That's not how I met.
But I didn't feel
your best.
I didn't feel good at all. Yeah. Like this was between the time where they were getting my dosages and stuff together. Mind you, that when I first got diagnosed, I didn't have the best rheumatologist. I had to go to a rheumatologist because they had specialized with lupus and stuff like that. So my very first doctor, he put me on to certain medicines that I did need, but he was not as thorough as I needed him to be when it came to what I was going through, like my day-to-day, the things that I say is going on with me. If I'm wanting to reach out or if I have an appointment or something, I would drive 30
Didn't fucking
minutes.
care, basically. One of them doctors that just
he just pushes
you
on.
off. Yeah.
Like, I would drive 30 minutes every doctor visit. Excuse me. And I kid you not, none of my doctor visits, besides maybe the first two, possibly lasted more than 8 minutes. Like,
and you can't find out shit about nobody in no motherfucking 8 minutes.
You can't. That's why the particular doctor that I have now, I'm so grateful for her, because every single visit I have with her, she remembers everything I spoke about with the last visit. Mm-hmm. She remember, like I have gotten to where I message her whenever something's wrong. I'll message her. She messages me back. She will speak to me about that whenever my next visit is. I give her issues or problems, like we have certain things that we've talked about, and she'll give me solutions, or she'll tell me what she thinks would be best, and she'll look up more things that she would feel would be better for me on certain things. And it's like, I appreciate that so much, because yes, I still drive 30 minutes to get there, but at the same time, it's like I'm not wasting my time when I get there. Mm-hmm. I'm not going in and out. I feel like she actually is more in depth, and she's changing my medications more so. The things that's going to actually help me. Like, I've had to change them over and over again, but we're working with my body. My body is just kind of like all over the place. So, 2018 was the diagnosis for lupus. Last year, 2020, was a diagnosis for rheumatoid arthritis. And I don't know what it was that actually prompted that. I think she was just doing regular blood tests, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that came back, and I was like, wow. I didn't expect that. I did not expect the arthritis. But I guess it kind of goes hand in hand, because if you know, they're both autoimmune diseases. So I guess it wasn't too far off. I don't know. But
all that and what she said. But let's get into the real meat of the conversation. Mm-hmm. How it can possibly affect your relationship. It's only what it, look at me, see it ain't now. Honestly, y'all, it will only affect your relationship if you let it. Mm-hmm. So when we first got together, it was slightly over 5 years ago. Like I said, we were fresh, like we were new. We had just started talking. We weren't like together mm-hmm. at first, but we had just started talking. So it's like, when you first get in a relationship, from past relationships, there's certain things you want to deal with and certain things you don't want to deal with. I've never dealt with nobody that's been sick, like seriously sick. I ain't talking about like, oh, I got a cold because of the seasons fucking changing and shit. Like, I'm talking about like sick. She's the only girl I've been with, and I've gone through a situation like this. So when you first get together, it's like, I'm a person that's upfront. But I guess she couldn't tell me this because she didn't know shit about it. I like know every fucking thing that's wrong to see if I want to be put in that situation to deal with it. Like, I have to be like, okay, I can deal with this. I can take on that responsibility. I know you might need this, this, and that. I'm good. When we first got together, like I said, I was ignorant to the situation, and it was like, sometimes I would get very, very impatient, and I'm like, sometimes I felt like, I don't know if you know this, it's not, I'm about to come out with my truth. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I'm tired of taking time out my day to do whatever. No, but mind you, we didn't know each other like that. So I felt like I was doing a lot of stuff for a stranger. And it was like, it's too soon for this. Like, we're not committed, and why do I need to do all this bullshit for you? Like, I felt like that. But I want to say, it's like, as time, you gotta have a strong ass mind.
You really do.
And
that's for both parties. Bro. Both people have to be understanding, strong-minded.
Yeah.
Because although it's a lot on her, it's also a lot on me. Because if you are a person who has any kind of disease or anything that's going on with you, you know for yourself, mentally, it can be a little bit worse mentally than physically, because your mental doesn't want you to be a burden on people. You know what I mean? Even though you have people who are in your corner who say they wouldn't mind taking care of you, you don't want to be taken care of in that way. You don't want to seem helpless. You don't want to seem like you can't do for yourself. I've had plenty of days where, like, my mind would just be like, you can't do this, you can't, and and I'm like, I can do it, but your body will not let you. So I have, like, plenty of times she's had to, like, bathe me, she's had to clothe me, she's had to feed me.
She done had days where she just cannot get out of the bed, can't do nothing. So I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, and coming into it, if they tell you that shit, you need to. It is a lot, but you also need to prepare yourself and ask yourself that question. Well, and you need to find out how severe it is too. Mm-hmm. You need to be ready and be like, okay, well, do you really like that person? Do you really want to be with that person? Can you really deal with this, and that? Especially if they telling you up front. I didn't know these things up front, so it just kind of grew on me to just be there. But she realized how much she liked me and I liked her. So it was like, it's like, okay, I know I want to be with her in the long run. So it's like, now that I do know that she has this situation going on with her, how am I going to help her? How am I going to deal with it myself? It's like, you have to, I always say this when we got in a relationship, she taught me a lot of patience. Like, I was never real patient in my relationships, but being with her and dealing with that particular situation is like, it really slowed me down, because I used to be like a fast light person, but I've taken time to just understand it, realize it, and just be like, yeah, Julie, it is what it is. It's basically, you did fucking sign up for this shit. It's like, you here now. I'm not gonna just leave because you got an issue going on with you. Everybody got an issue. It might not be that, but it's like, do you want to deal with that? Yeah, I want to deal with that. I ain't throwing away 5+ years. But you have to be a strong person. If you're that type that just don't want to deal with somebody else's bullshit, or it's not even bullshit, you just don't want to deal with their issues, period. First of all, it's kind of selfish, but yeah, it is what it is. But you really have to have the mind for it. You have to have the patience for it, and you just got to be willing to help sometimes. It's like, she ain't always just helpless. No. Like, it's not like that. It's actually gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not anymore now. In
the beginning, it's a lot of stuff she couldn't do.
Like, there were times I couldn't keep a job as much because my body just was it would not do
and
right.
And stuff like that,
it took a hindrance.
It can affect the relationship, because when you start living with somebody, you have to do your part. I don't know how everybody else do their relationships out there, but it's like in my mind, relationships should be 50-50.
Yeah.
So that took a toll on it. It's like, okay, well, she ain't able to work and do this. Okay, it's like, dang, now I got to pick up the slack because she's not physically able to do this, and that, which is not a problem, but some people get tired. Some people get frustrated, and it'll take a toll on your relationship, because you'll be looking like, damn, this motherfucker ain't working because she can't. I got to do all this, and that. It's like, that will come into play, because I'm not going to lie. I have thought that shit. I'm going to be real. She knows that. So it's just like, you have to be strong enough in the mind to be like, well, you know, this is what's going on. She can't help it. Stick it out. Try to do what you can. And if you're not ready for stuff like that, you don't need to be in a relationship with a person that has those type of issues.
That is true.
Like I said, it just fucking depends on the people.
It does. And like I said, that's very true, because it depends on how much you think you can really take and handle. Because for her, I know it was a lot. It was a lot on her as well. But like I said, mentally for me, it was a lot too. Because growing up, I've never been that type of person who couldn't do for myself. Like, I've always been that more so independent. I've worked since I was 15. So to get to a place where my body's shutting down on me, is not doing what I wanted to do, I'm always in pain, I'm always hurting, I'm always doing, like I'm always tired, that takes a huge toll on a person. Like when you're so used to doing you and your body does like a complete like 360 on you. It's like, is it 360, 180, whatever?
All the way around is a 360.
Okay.
Halfway is a 180.
Anyway, when your body just completely changes on you, it's like a huge adjustment. So even though it was new for her and it was like a huge difference for her, it was very, very new for me as well. Like I would rather do everything myself if I could. So for me, what? Pharaoh? Excuse me.
Dang, I wanted y'all to hear our dog snoring like he works a 9 to 5. Oh well, I guess he stopped.
Oh yeah. So there you go. Hold on, y'all, look.
Yeah, that's him.
Anyway, so yeah, like I said, if I could do it. I would want to do everything for myself, simply because I didn't like having to depend on anyone. But like I said, just because it was new for her, it was also new for me. So this was a whole different thing that I just was not. I didn't know anything about having to depend on somebody and letting them do all the work, letting them do everything. I really couldn't do too much of anything. That was hard as hell for me. It's really, really hard. And if you're, like I said, you're a person who goes from being pretty much independent to dependent on somebody, that takes a huge toll on your mental. You don't want it to be that way. So for me, it was very important for me to get back to a space where I can do for myself. Like, even though we're still together and we're 50-50, I wanted to do for myself because, for one, that's just me. I wanted my independence and myself and, being able to do what I had to do for us. But it's just like, I don't want to be a burden. As like I said, you don't ever want to feel like you're a burden on someone and like you're bringing them down in any kind of way because you can't do stuff for yourself. Like, you just don't want it to. I'm not old. I'm not 85, 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. I feel like I should be able to do certain things. That's why it's also important for me to make sure I stay on the right track when it comes to treatment and getting stuff like that done. Because I don't ever want to go back to the position where I can't do anything at all. I still have those days. Sometimes, not nearly as much as I used to. Like, not even close.
But at the end of the day, relationship-wise, if y'all are strong and confident and you're not going nowhere, even if it did get to that point for your mate, you should just be there. If they need that type of attention the rest of their life, if you love them, it just is what it is. You're going to give it to them. If she needs somebody to help her wash her ass every day, I'm just going to wash her ass every day. It's like, it is what it is. Like I said, she's gotten a lot better thanks to her doctor and her actually listening to her doctor. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still trying to get her to physically do some things that are better. I'm trying to get her to eat a little better. But, it is what it is. It might play a part in it, it might not. I always feel like if you take care of the inside of your body and treat it right, good shit will come out of it. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
I think it depends on because I've done research on that and I follow people.
Eating?
Yeah, it depends on the person, simply because I know that because I follow people who said they've done vegan for like a year or two or something like that with lupus or arthritis.
And it helps.
Didn't help. That didn't help them. That's what they said.
Didn't help.
No, like for real. Like they still got flares like normal.
It's just something that's there.
It's just there. But I also have seen people who say, okay, they can be pescatarian and that works better for them, or they're vegetarian, that works better, or they just cut out red meat. They eat chicken, but they don't eat like seafood and certain people do.
Well, I ain't
things.
trying to push her to be a vegan. I'm just trying to push her to be a little better.
I'm not against that at all.
And not so much fried foods, because she loves chicken.
I love chicken.
Which is okay, that's cool, but fried, it's just the way you're eating things. That's what it is.
I also have found a place, one of these days we're going to go visit. They had like some chicken. No.
Enjoy.
I don't know where it was. I forget. But they had like chicken wings, but it was vegan, y'all. And they look so good. Oh my God. Like, you can't tell me that wasn't real chicken. It looked really good. I'm gonna show you.
It wasn't real chicken if it was vegan.
No, I know. Well,
it wasn't real.
No, I know. It looked like real chicken. Anyway,
so y'all couldn't tell me that wasn't real chicken. Bitch, it wasn't real chicken. What are you talking about? Hell no.
It looked real, like, to me. But anyway, we do have to try that one these days. But I don't know. I really have tried different things. I haven't been very consistent.
Yeah.
But I have tried different things. And I'm not going to say I don't want to do certain things. It's just like, it is mind over matter. Your mental is much more stronger than you think it is.
Because you can tell your body what to do.
Yeah.
You can tell your mind what to eat. Well, I'm eating this. You can eat it. It's just that, do you want to fucking eat it or not? But it is what it is. But overall, that's how I feel like stuff can have a hindrance. If you're not ready in the mind for it, don't get in a relationship with somebody that just got a whole lot of problems in the world. It ain't even got to be health wise. That could be with anything. But we're just speaking on the health part. So if you can't do it, man, don't waste their time. Don't waste your time. If you know you a selfish ass motherfucker and you just really don't want to take care of somebody, it's cool. Hell, I get it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't got no kids. And when I met her, I was like, well, I ain't got no children, bitch. The fuck? But it's like, but the love was stronger. Even though we first met, like, the bond was there, the connection was there. Hell, it's still here. So it's like I said, it's not her going through it by herself. We're both going through it. And
to piggyback off of that, what you don't...
That's outside.
Oh. Excuse me. What you don't want to do, if you can't handle that, you need to definitely be upfront with the person that you're talking to who has those issues.
ASAP. Because how long into the relationship?
Yeah. Later into it, what you could be doing is causing a lot of stress. And if you know autoimmune diseases thrive off of stress. Like, they get worse.
You know that for real?
Yeah, your body reacts worse off of the stress level. So if you're putting that person that you're with through a lot of stress, you're hurting them even more. You're hurting them way more than you think you are. So if you don't want to deal with stuff like that, you don't think you can, and you might have a what you call it thing, like a
what you trying to say?
Backlash? Is that what it's called? Backlash?
It don't sound right, but
it doesn't. Anyway, if you're gonna have like a moment or something like that and be all extra mean and put a lot of pressure on them or a lot of stress or whatever, don't. Like, just leave them, because that. And
I think I used to do that shit.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
It was.
I think that's why she's saying that. I can admit to that. I used to do that stuff. Like, I'll have like a little flash out if we was to get
lash
into
out.
Lash
Is it lash out?
Oh, bitch, I don't know. I just know that I can have my moments at times. Not saying that I didn't want to be there. It's just that I think with it being so built up and frustrated, and then it might have been other things going on in my day, or something else that didn't happen in life, something that didn't happen at work, and I might come home or something and get mad and be like, why you can't never do this for yourself? Or so it'll just be an outburst that you don't mean, but that could cause stress on that person. So it's like, you have to watch what you say, you have to watch what you do. I feel like people that go through that feelings probably most sensitive. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Hers is a little sensitive.
I'm very
so sometimes
sensitive.
You have to watch how you say stuff and what you say.
I also, like I said, I think it's also a mental thing when it comes to the disease itself, because, like I said, it hinders you. It blocks you from being you. So along with not being able to be you're constantly battling in your head about stuff that you can't do anymore, how you're not good enough, how you don't move how you used to do. Like, why can't you do that? Your brain goes through so much. So it's like, yeah, it's the physical, but the mental takes a huge hit too. So keep that in mind, you guys. If you do know somebody who's going through too much, like anything on these kinds of levels, their mental is probably taking a huge hit as well. So be mindful of that. Be careful of what you say. The worst thing you could ever say to someone who has any disease or anything that you don't understand is nothing's wrong with you, or you'll be okay. That's one of the worst things you could ever say to somebody who has something like that.
I said this shit.
You have.
In the beginning?
Yeah, you have.
I'm the only one that said this
No,
shit?
you're not the only one. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. When I was ignorant, yeah, in the beginning.
Those kinds of things, because that only feeds into the fact that other people think you're already crazy.
And you're not them. You don't know what the fuck is wrong.
True.
Like, you can't say somebody not hurting, they hurt. That's just like if you go stub your toe right now, you say, ouch, that hurt, and they say, oh, shut the fuck up, that ain't hurt.
Exactly.
This is my toe that got stubbed. Yes, the fuck it do hurt. Like, you can't tell nobody how they feel. Point blank, period. It just is what it is. But I think
we're gonna try to wrap it up, y'all. It's been a long video, but I hope you guys
got something out of that.
Out to somebody who kind of going through the same thing. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them down below. You
almost hit me. I think in all these videos, you be about to swipe me. Like, yeah. See, that was good. Y'all, I'm done. We done. Like we say, if you do have lupus and you're in a relationship, comment down below how it is possibly affecting. Hopefully we gave y'all some tips on how you can handle it as a couple together.
I know I kind of rambled on a lot, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, just let us know. Make sure you leave a comment, or if you know somebody with it, or you know,
or if you have it and you know you do certain things, you got some tips, because we still learning. Like every day I'm still learning, especially with this arthritis now. Like this is taking a toll on me, but we're learning more and more every day. I appreciate my baby, because I kid you not, it is hard. It's very, very, very hard. Sometimes we still have our moments. Sometimes it's still, you know, unbearable. Sometimes we lash out at each other. I was right. Sometimes we lash out at each other because of certain things, not even just because of the disease itself, just our day to day. We're still human. We still have feelings. We still have, you know, emotions that come along with ourselves. So we're learning. We're still working off of each other. But at this moment, I'm proud to say we are still rocking. We're rolling and we're doing really good. Yeah. I intend to see this asshole next to me for as long as possible.
Yeah, I've been believing that. Yeah, I done had a few people in my day call me an asshole, y'all. It don't even bother me.
I'm just kidding. She's not an asshole. Sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, she is sometimes. It depends on the day and the moment.
You're stupid.
But I love her anyway.
But that's it for this video.
Yes.
Make sure you leave your comments down below. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel.
So we keep giving you more content.
Please subscribe. And you already know what you gotta do. You gotta
give this video a thumbs up.
Oh, you changed the word. It's give this video a thumbs up.
Give the video a thumbs up, y'all.
A thumbs up. We're gonna argue about this every time we end it right. End it right. Give this video a thumbs up. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all haters out there, I don't give a fuck. That shit go hard. I don't give a damn. We stupid. We goofy. But that's it. We will see y'all in the next video.
Next video. Holla. Wait.
Blooper. 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 Let's do a thumbnail real quick.
Okay. What did she say? Like what? Life with lupus? Living with lupus? Relationship with lupus?
Yeah, relationship with lupus sounds good. You ready?
Wow, you look so lame.
Well, what you want to do?
I don't know.
That might could be one.
Yeah.
You ready? That's it. All right. I told you it was going to last more than that. Look, almost 40 minutes.
I'm on.
I was like, when we get to talking, bitch, 15 minutes ain't going to be enough to say everything. You just going to have to...
It's because of that topic itself.
Yeah, and you just gonna have to chop up. Yeah. I think that other topic would have lasted just as long. When we get to talking, that's what it is. We just keep going. But yeah, you definitely You can't take it off.
It's stuck on my thread. My little thing.